Afternoon, guys, ladies, gentlemen.
Hey, Todd, when like in baseball, spring training games, a pitcher will be working on a specific pitch, and there's sort of a reasonable expectation he might make some mistakes. Same with the hitter; he's just maybe swinging at breaking pitches. Expectation will be mistakes. With your quarterbacks, new offense they're learning. What kind of margin for error do you give them, or do you give them when they make turnovers?
You always have a margin for error. No matter what you're learning, you don't want to turn the ball over. You're going to learn certain things because we're not going against each other from an install standpoint. So the defense will have some things in certain days, and the offense will have some things in certain days. But you don't ever want to turn the ball over if you can help it. Whether you throw it away, throw it in the dirt, some things you want to try out and get the kinks out, and there's a certain amount of time for that. But as you get closer to preseason and the season, you definitely don't want to turn the ball over.
There's weight in preseason games, but compared to practice every single day, like what Lee said, you are learning new stuff. How do you kind of weigh turnovers with those? Does it matter more when you turn the ball over in a preseason game versus what you're doing day to day in practice?
It's all cumulative. You got to put it all together. You don't put one over the other. You put a lot of things: classroom, on the field, general fieldship, accuracy, when to get rid of the ball, checking to the right play. There's a lot of things that go into that. So it's more than one thing, but you definitely don't want to see turnovers every day.
Given the fact that you've only got the 3 preseason games this year with the new schedule, as you did last year, how will you and Dave decide what the quarterback rotation looks like on Friday night?
Well, we'll talk about it next week. Again, we haven't talked about it yet. We'll talk about it as a staff, and I'll let them know how I feel, and they'll give me their opinions, and we'll put together a plan. So when we get to that, I have a better answer for you.
So, no Kyler, no games today. Is that just like a scheduled day off, or did they do it on the side?
Yeah, they had some vet days, so we gave them 2. They've been going pretty hard, so we'll give them the day off.
The interview is one thing, but performance in role is quite different. What are your thoughts on Dave Canales so far and how he's been installing the offense?
I think Dave's been doing an outstanding job. He's an outstanding teacher. He was like that in the interview. He's like that every day. He's very upbeat. He's very detailed. He understands where they're at. He understands how to get guys in position. He learned them all in the spring. So as he installs and gets a feel for who can do what, I think it's coming together pretty good. I like where he's at.
As McCollum started training camp off, it seems like a hot start. I think he had a pick 6 on one of the early days against John Walford. Just what have you seen out of him, especially since he got a little more opportunity there with Carlton nursing that shoulder?
Just understanding the scheme. Physically we know he can run and do a lot of things. Understanding the scheme and the game slowing down for him and him making the right plays, not necessarily the wow plays, and that's been really big this spring from a mental standpoint for him, and he's been doing a great job at that.
I know during one-on-ones he would go up against Mike Evans a few times, and I know Mike has made some unbelievable plays here in camp. What do you kind of take from those, some of those moments?
Well, he can't help but get better going against one of the best in the league. So anytime you go up against Mike and Chris, and they got 2 of the best guys in the league, you're going to have an education or you're going to get some experience one way or the other, and it helps you when you get in the games. It doesn't help you fear anybody else because you're already going up against the best in practice.
That move the chains period there, you had a nice conversion on a throw across the middle to Devin Tompkins going up high. How does his leaping ability compare with the rest of the years?
To be his height, he better have great leaping ability. So that puts him at 6 feet if he has a 39-inch vertical. No, Devin, he does a great job. He's a very good athlete. We tease him a lot about his weight, but he plays a lot heavier. He's a very tough guy. He's a very strong guy, and I like where he's at.
Receiver who seemed to stand out today was Raheem Jarrett. Can you just speak about the undrafted free agent, how he's looked in camp so far?
We know the athlete he is. Again, with him, it's all about learning the scheme and understanding where he needs to be on the field. His ball catching and route running skills are very good. His run after catch is outstanding. Just getting the scheme down and playing it the right way. So we're looking forward to him having a couple preseason games where we can see him put that together.
That outside linebacker, they have to drop in coverage at times. How do you think Yaya has done in that part of the game? Does he look comfortable doing it?
He's comfortable enough. We gauge you by your athleticism. If you're not a great dropper, you probably won't be dropping. But I think he does a good job at understanding it and knows where everything is. It's probably a little bit new for him, but for the few times that we ask him to drop, I think he does a good job.
I was going to ask about Yaya, but what do you like about him and what have you seen from him at camp?
He's strong. He's tough. He loves to play the game. He's very explosive off the ball. He has heavy hands. You know, we always say we like guys with heavy hands that can handle any kind of block, and he's very versatile. He's making his presence felt this camp in pads.
Coach, Rondé Barber just got inducted, added his induction to the Hall of Fame today. What types of aspects of his game that he played kind of translate to a modern game like this? That maybe it's something that you would tell your guys like how to be, like him and how he played.
All aspects of his game translate today. His intelligence, his toughness, his sure tackling, definitely his ball skills and turnover skills. And I think he's had more defensive touchdowns than anybody in the league. So all that translates to today's game. Telling the guys about Rondé Barber is like telling them about President Nixon or George Washington Carver, somebody. They don't go back as far as 2020. So they would have to Google that, and then they'll say, oh, okay. But they understand him because he's been in the building, and you can learn a lot from him if you pull out his tape. And there's a couple guys that, Rondé Barber, Ed Reed, those guys, the ball-hawking guys that really understand the game, if you really look at them, that have been productive throughout their career. And there's more. Charles Woodson's in that category, as well as a lot of older guys. But they can learn a lot from watching their tape, just seeing how they move and what they're looking at. I think they can get better at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, study habits is everything,
4 to 6 feet. You wouldn't draft a corner like that, would you?
All depends. If he's 6'5", I might.
Did you record it, or are you going to get a chance to watch the speech?
I'm recording it, so I'm pretty sure, I'll watch it when I get home. We texted earlier today, and we talked during the week, so he understands.
It was really, really, really good.
I'm sure. He's very good every time he speaks.
He did it's very inspiring.
You said Tuesday they only go back to 2019, and now it's only 2020, so their memory is already slipping.
I asked them a 2019 question. They didn't get it right, so I moved it up a year. All right, guys.
Yeah, definitely check it out, though. It's super inspiring. A lot
Okay.
of you guys would really